everyone doing? Doing well? Yeah? Have a long day so far?
Nope.
Yeah? I like the PJs. This is nice. Oh, was it? That's exciting. So what? Yeah, that's a good takeaway. Yeah, I'm making the memo. It's all right. Play the drums.
All right, kids, I'm Calvin, and this is Kai, and we are here to give a presentation. I know you guys have already had school today, but we're going to do just a little more learning, and then we're going to do a fun activity later. And we also have candy, so for the kids
yeah, give us some feedback.
that participate, we'll get candy. So our presentation is on jobs in education. So how many of you kids actually have a job? You do. What's your job?
Sometimes at TO60 I wash dishes.
There you go. So jobs around the house. Everyone else kind of helps around the house, right? Yeah. Okay. So usually your parents will give you some sort of payment when you help around the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about your parents? Do your parents have jobs too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Who can tell me what their parents do for a job? Let's go right here.
Me?
Yeah.
My dad works at a bank and my mom works at a library.
Okay. So banker and a librarian, and we'll do one more.
Posted.
Okay.
My mom works at Posted.
Okay. So why do you think your parents have jobs?
Money.
So they have money, exactly. And what are things we do? Why do we need money? Let's go in the back. Yeah, because we need to buy things, right? So what we're going to talk about today are different jobs you can have, and like how much money they pay, and then our activity is going to be about buying different things with that money. So we will go ahead and get started. So the first job we're going to talk about is called a realtor. A realtor is someone who sells real estate, which are like homes and houses, apartments, properties, just buildings or properties. And these people make about $40,000 a year, which sounds like a lot of money, right? No?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay. And the good thing about being a realtor is you don't need a college education for it. So as soon as you get through all of your school, you can become a realtor, which can save you money in the long run because college can be expensive, which we'll get to later. But different skills we like to see in realtors. They should be really good at negotiating, and they should also be friendly, they should be organized, and they should be really good at communicating. So those are, if those are things you are good at, maybe a realtor is a job for you.
All right, so next up we have firefighter. Have any of you guys dreamed of being a firefighter when you grow up? No? What do you guys want to be when you grow up? What would you?
I want to be a teacher.
A teacher? That's a good one.
A doctor.
Okay, I'll take one more.
A race car driver.
Race car driver, that's exciting. So I think a firefighter would be a pretty exciting job too. So I think you'd have to be athletic, you'd have to be courageous, because you're in a stressful situation, you're responding to fires and other emergencies too. So depending on where you are a firefighter, often you can just have your high school diploma. Sometimes you need further education. So they make $45,000 on average. What other skills do you think is important for a firefighter to have? Do you have any ideas? What do you think? Yeah, they would be. Anything else? You in the corner? Do you have an idea? No? It's all right. Okay, and so most of the time is spent in the fire station where they eat, sleep, and wait on call.
Okay, and the next job we have, we're starting to look at jobs where you should go to college for. Has anybody thought about going to college yet? Yeah? In the corner. Do you have a favorite college? No? Purdue, there we go. So, actually, but with dental hygienists, you only need to go to college for 2 years. So you can go to a school, maybe like Ivy Tech. It doesn't have to be like a traditional college degree where you go for 4 years. This can be done in 2 years. And they make a little bit more money, right? So the realtor made $40,000. The fireman made $45,000. But a dental hygienist makes about $60,000, which is a lot more money to have. And basically what they do is they help a dentist. So do you kids all go to the dentist? Yeah? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. And they'll help clean your teeth. They do x-rays, and they do a lot of other work around a dentist's office. So that would be our dental hygienist occupation.
So next up we have a registered nurse. So do you guys understand the difference? So he's talking about 2 years and 4 years. So one's called an associate's degree, and one's called a bachelor's degree. The difference is one you go for 2 years after high school, you go for another 2 years education, the other's 4 years. So to be a nurse, how many of you guys have been to the hospital? Have you ever been to the hospital? Broken arms and whatnot? Yeah. So you can be a nurse. You'd have to be good with people. You'd have to have a lot of knowledge of science, anatomy, and all of that. And for this one, some of them go to school for an extra 2 years. Some of them go for an extra 4 years. So you find this with a lot of different areas you can go into. You can get more education or less, and you can still be in it, but what you do is going to vary a bit. So the median pay is $65,470. So as you can see, as you get more education, you start making more money. But you also go to school longer. You might get educational debt. So it's definitely a trade-off. Another thing to look at, so it says outlook is 19% growth. So different jobs, sometimes we need more nurses or more teachers. And so that's something to keep in mind when you go into school, because you don't want to get a job and then not have anywhere to do it, right? So we need a lot of nurses. So this is a good field to go into. And bear with me, we're almost there. So we're like 2/3 of the way through. Oh, so mechanical engineering technician. So do any of you guys know Purdue's really known for their engineering? You guys, yeah, someone? Does anyone know what an engineer does? You know what an engineer does?
Build things like an engineer build this building.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. There's so many different disciplines. And so you can become an engineering technician. A technician only has 2 years of extra schooling to go through after high school. And so they differ a little bit from a traditional engineer. So this you could go to like Ivy Tech for, versus Purdue for 4 years where you become an engineer. So an engineering technician, you want to enjoy working with your hands, solving problems. I'd say the big difference is like, let's say for an example, you're building an engine, right? Like an engineer would design an engine, whereas an engineering technician would be more like on the manufacturing, the people that actually create the engine and help with those machines. So the median pay is $51,000 for this, and you only for an extra 2 years education, whereas as an engineer you go for another 4, but they make an average of $79,000. So there's a bunch of different disciplines of engineering. Some build buildings, that was a good one. Bridges, electronics. You guys have cell phones? Any have cell phones yet? Yeah? So they design cell phones and all sorts of, anything that they make, anything you see, an engineer is probably behind it. And so I picked an example of a civil engineer. So you said buildings, that was a good example, but civil engineer also does, the sewage system. I don't know if, like when you guys, turn the faucet, water comes out. Have you ever thought about how it gets there? Like that's a pretty intricate system, right? So civil engineers are behind a lot of different projects like that. And again, you want to be good at math, you want to like problem solving, you want to be organized, creative, detail oriented.
All right, and we're going to continue on with doctors. Everyone knows what a doctor is, right? And look how much money these guys make. They're making $160,000 a year. So does that mean they're going to a little bit of school, no school, or a lot of school? A lot of school to be a doctor. So when you go to school a lot, you have to pay for your school too. So it's going to cost a lot of money to go to school, but then again, you're making a lot of money. And doctors, they do several different things. If you break a finger, then you go to a special type of doctor. Or if you just feel sick, you might go to a different type of doctor. So they cover a whole variety of different fields, and often just specialize in one of those areas. And when you're a doctor, it's really, really important to know about the human body, how it works, what it can take, different types of medicine, and you should also be very professional about your job, because a lot of times when you're sick, it's hard to relate that to other people, and being professional about it helps a lot. Do you have a question?
My mom, she's going to be assistant for a doctor, and she's going to IUPAC to get free for that.
Yeah, so you think she's going to make a little bit of money or a lot of money doing that?
A little bit.
A little bit? Probably somewhere in the medium if she's going to be an assistant, but very good.
Alright, so quick review before we go on to the activities. Can some of you guys name me like one of the favorite jobs you guys saw in the presentation? What'd you think? What do you think would be fun?
Firefighter and the doctor.
Firefighter and doctor, that's good. Here, you can this one work? Alright, what about you? What was your favorite?
The nurse and the doctor.
Alright, your preference. Alright, what would you like? What was your favorite?
The engineer and the doctor.
The engineer, that's a good choice for Dixon. How about you? The doctor and the engineer, popular choice. Alright, what do you want? Dental hygienist? So did any of you guys like change your mind about maybe what you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you think? The nurse? Alright, so we're going to go on to the activities, but you guys can all get candy at the end, so don't worry about that. Alright, so we're about to do this activity. We're going to introduce it really quick with 2 slides, so just hold on for a little bit longer, and then you'll be able to get up and move around a bit.
Okay, so one of the most important things we talked about today was how much each occupation makes. And budgeting is an important part of spending your money. It's like making a plan for how you spend the money you make. Obviously, if you make a lot of money, you're going to have a larger budget, and you'll be able to buy more things. And we think budgeting is important because it's just another way to stay organized. Like when you guys have classwork, do you write it down in an agenda? Do you guys keep track of different homework assignments, different tests coming up? You guys stay organized like that? Well, a budget is like doing the same thing but with money.
And if you lose it, it's found on the TV when you take a call, and it's
Alright, so what this activity is going to be is you're going to get randomly assigned a job, one of the ones you presented on, and so I have your income. And kind of what we're looking at is the fact is like, you're going to have different income for different jobs, and you're going to have to make choices, right? Like you might want the really nice car and the really nice house, but maybe if you're a firefighter, you can't afford both. So you're going to have to choose, and you're going to have to try to stay in your budget. So have your college mentors help you, because we went with the total income. So they're bigger numbers, and I don't know how that'll work out, but you're going to fill it out. So you're going to go through, and you're going to see one of these sheets. So you're going to go up, and you're going to choose your housing. Like, do you want to share an apartment? Do you want to live in an apartment by yourself or buy a house? But keep in mind, you can't spend more than you make. So I'm going to pass out these sheets. If you have any questions about what the topics are, you can just ask your peer mentors.
And you have to use your phones and calculators every time.
Sorry about that. You're right.
That was my bad. I was supposed to remind you. That's okay. I'm gonna go English.
We're going to start looking at different stuff. What job do you
Got a whole bunch going on. That's good choice.
How about how much you want to pay? How much you want to spend? Make a little bit of money. So as you go through it, you have different options. Remember, okay, and then we're going to go put some options up there. And you're going to want to write them. Where is it?